Okay. There we go. Just coming back online. Should be almost there. All right. Okay, I guess that. I should type the lines down. Okay, that's weird. Okay, so before lunch, we managed to get to the point where we have a working. The heater's not, the heater's not working. Hang on, my Litecoin server, otherwise known as my heater, is not working. So let me just fix that. They're all dead. Yeah, no wonder it's cold. I might have to take a little detour here. So I've got to get the heater working. Without the heater, I'm stuffed. So nicehash.com. I've got a multi-algorithm server working here. This probably means X13 should be the one that's up. Just trying. Restarting the server. Okay, let's see if this works now. Hopefully something will be alive. Oh. It's thinking about it. Anyway, while that's coming on, I'll just leave that to it for a minute. Okay, so now we've managed to make it so that celestial bodies no longer own their locations, which is great. Now, we should do the same with cities. This should be pretty easy to do because we can do a similar type def to the inner ship inner location. No, ship inner. Let's see. Yeah, it's the same as the ship inner. Don't really care because I just want city inner location. I don't care about drawing it. I'm not drawing these at the moment. I'm going to use a GUI, I think, to make these work. Why has it failed? Probably couldn't because it couldn't connect to any pool. That's annoying. Let me just fix the hashing thing. Yeah, script. Let's just quit this for a minute. Okay, BIM 2ATX. Right. I don't have a Lyra 2E set up, so that's probably why it's not working. Basically, I'll switch. If all else fails, I'll switch to NeoScript. At the moment, I need to have something running. That's fine. Okay. Where this Lara2RE comes from. That looks better. Yeah, obviously, I think that must be the only one that's alive, yeah. Okay. Well, the temperature of the GPUs is heating up, which is good. That means that it should get warmer in here in a minute. Okay, sorry about that minor delay. Should be up and running now. Okay, welcome if you're just joining me. Just flicked the stream a minute ago, so it might have got a notification. I am in the process of attempting to. It's fine. I'm in the process of trying to set up cities to have inner locations as well. So we've got a city inner location here, and we'll pretty much copy the celestial body stuff for this. What I should have is an entity component model with each of this stuff set up correctly, but I don't have that. So city location is going to be a city inner location. And we'll set that to location, and then return city location. That should do it. And then up here, we just simply need to have city inner location, city location. Oops, no. There. And then in here, we need to set the city location to be null until someone sets it. Now, the only time we ever create cities apart from in tests is in the static map loader. Load cities. So in here, that's it. We're going to need a new inner location for cities, which is in solar system. Just the same as we've got these, we need a city inner location. Create an inner location for city. Just the same as this one. There's a pattern moving here. City inner location. City inner location. New city inner location. Store location, return location, brilliant. So that will create the new inner location. So in just the same way as we do line 56, let's just copy that down. City location. Let's target create inner location for city, brilliant. So now we create it and store it. So that should, in theory, work. Maybe. Yes? Hello, we finished? Not quite saved everything. Okay, right. That should be city name, city. Let's try that. City location. What's this one about? Forward declaration here. So inside city, we do not know what a ground. Oops. We need planet physics. Again, this is my poor location implementation, unfortunately. If you're new to the stream, do feel free to follow me on Twitch. That's the best way of finding out whether or not I'm actually streaming or not. The other thing you can do, if you would like to, is to thank you, the Dontas, for following me. The other thing that is worth doing is following us on Twitter, SolTDR, or go to soltrader.net for a whole bunch of other information. Okay, I'm imagining that the tests will mostly break now, because in the places in which, here we go, that's a different thing, key, okay, that's fine. No, just put this there instead. I'm imagining that many of you will be new to the game. Do feel free to just... Oh, same problem. Yeah. Do feel free to look up Soul Trader. A whole bunch of links are at the top of the screen. That should help you out. Okay, once I've done this, just show you what I'm doing. This is my map of everything that's going on here. I have a celestial body with a location in it. Within that I have a city, the city here, which has a location in it. And in that I say like have a bar, for example, which has a location in it, which has little people in it. So what I'm doing is adding this, now I've got this is London, I'm adding this thing, this location here. That's the key thing I'm doing at the moment. So that I can start adding these entities to the location. So then the next step is to make an operation. An operation is like, how do I describe operation? It's a going concern. It's like an organisation's office or something like that. So we already have the concept of bars and things like that, which are, there's a list of them inside the history. The history maintains that. And what I want to be able to do is to put those actually as entities inside the city itself, so that you can actually visit the operations that you want to see, which is definitely the way forward. By the end of the day, I'd really like to at least see a list of operations. That would be super cool. Make sure I'm charging here. Slightly weird. MagSafe connector here. It's not charging properly. Is it charging? Yes, it is. Helps. Okay. If you have any questions, do feel free to type them into the chat. In Twitch, I'm watching that on another screen. I'm very happy to take questions and that kind of thing. Yeah, and do follow me on Twitch if you'd like to. Then you'll be able to connect with me whenever you like. Okay. This is all working fine. I'm imagining I might get a few failures at this point when I start running the tests. My poor laptop. I could really do with a really nice Mac Pro or something like that. I have this Litecoin server here. To be honest, it's a pretty low-powered machine apart from massive GPUs in it. So it's got plenty of memory, but I could use this as I'll probably end up using that as a box to compile the game on when I do switch to Linux. That really depends if I manage to get Linux support. I'm planning on doing a Kickstarter in the new year. We've already put together a little trailer for that, which I'm going to release probably New Year's Day or something similar to that. Yeah, looking forward to getting that running. So I'm tempted to share that trailer beforehand, but I also want to make a bit of an impression with it when I actually do the Kickstarter, with kind of a strong call to action from that. So yeah. Okay, just going through my emails on another screen. It seems to be building quite nicely. Okay, we have some unit test building. Let's see if they work. I probably won't. Imagining, oh, they did work. Ah, yes, that's because I'm not setting any locations on those cities, but I'm also not adding anything to them at the moment, so that's fine. Right, the next thing to do is to modify the history. Actually, I'll check that in while I've done that, because that's a nice tidy change. Yes, let's added the city location. What was that? Leave planet spec. Okay, that's really odd. That is not going to be checked in. Weird. Just keyboard splurge. Okay. Cities now have inner locations. Brilliant. And then I just want to reset that weird change. Right. Okay. Now, if our cities have inner locations, then I should be able to add. Interesting. I should be able to change the history generator. Instead of using the planet location, let's see, city, okay, so, right, so we've got a bunch of, interesting, So in here we have a bunch of things that are added to the particular location. So we also count the number of cities and set the location to the planet location. Yes, that's wrong. So basically what I need to do is update, instead of using the planet as the history generation point, I need to use the city. That is correct. Yeah, that's fine. It's not that hard to do. It depends on the capital. I think we have to assume that the first city is the capital city. That's easy to do. Where in the testing was that placement? Placements 0. There was some test for that. It's there, yeah, there we go. Placement 0, so that's the first placement. Here, yes, so this is that could be the capital, to be honest. So really I need a planet capital city. That would be neat. And I need a test for that. Okay, so in order to refactor this history stuff here, the Senate, for example, is just something that I create. That is currently just going into the planet, but it needs to go into the capital city. So if I have a celestial city spec, what's going on with the city? No, that's just a city. Celestial body spec. Okay, there's nothing going on here. So we need the first celestial body planet and location. Okay. We have an Earth, we have city, and set location. We also want to create a new city. Oh, I don't know, Paris. Okay, so the plan is to try and set location, yep. And then we want to say check equals London, planet capital city. Now let's just check that's null there. Basically the first one. Yeah, and there's no member named capital city and celestial body, so let's add that. So we want a city, capital city, return placement, no, planet, actually no. Just make the definition and then let's generate it here, and then say celestial body capital city, and this is going to be planet location if planet location count CP location layer ground 0, return null. Else we want planet location placements CP location layer ground 0. Okay, that should we know that's right. Is everything saved? Ah. Great. I'm going to compile. Yeah, not this one though. That's because it has to be. Cool. So if we create a capital city, that'll make it neat and tidy. Referring to the right city at this point. Okay, happy enough with that. Okay, so if a planet has a capital city, yes, name not taken, we are currently compiling. What I'm going to do next is sort out the history generator so that it, instead of using just regular planets, it actually uses the individual cities as its kind of location point. So people will be born in cities, not on the planet. This isn't Linux, actually, this is OS 10. Funnily enough, you can see if I do an Alt-Tab, I tend to compile in the terminal. It's Vim and C++ on the command line. I've got a whole build system going on, which is pretty cool. Okay, so it's just compiling the tests at the moment. Once the tests are run, then we should be in good shape. So I quite like to commit capital city before doing much more. The idea is that if at the moment you're born on Earth and you're just in the main Earth location. So here's the example, here's the diagram. At the moment you're born in this location here. And what I want to do is set it up so that players are born into the city location. We're not going to model individual houses at this point, that might be a bit crazy, but we're going to go for something like this. That's almost done. Very close now. So just replying to questions in the Twitch chat. Did I build my own engine? Yes, I did. That is, there we go, so you can see. Yes, that is my own engine. It's basically OpenGL and SDL based. So, oh, let's see. That passed tests, awesome. So the next thing to do is to think about this history generation here. So you can see what I've got going on here. I've got a thing to say how old the character will be. At the moment, when it generates people, they're generated in that Earth place. Look, home is Earth, which isn't quite accurate. It actually should be London Earth, or Tokyo Earth, or New York Earth, or something like that. So that's not what we want. We actually want people to be born into a particular city. So let's do that. Thank you. It's hard work, but it's been a lot of fun. I'm just going to move that out of the way so I can get on with some more coding. Yeah, this game is 3 years in the making. I've been building it for about 3 years, evenings and weekends. I'm just actually about to start a Kickstarter to raise just like the last 6 months worth of money or so just to get the game finished. That'll be launching in the new year. But I've got a few days this side of Christmas to kind of really crack on with the game, so I'm going to be working on it at least a couple of days this week. Okay, right, so history, that's what I was doing. So now I have a capital city. When we are looking in here for location, okay, to start with, we delete the people, we kill them off and then we delete them. Baby, yeah, coding better. To be honest, I've been coding for a long time. Probably, I mean, I started coding 30 years ago, believe it or not, when I was 6. And have been programming professionally for since I was about 20. So how long is that? 16 years. So yeah, it's just practice really. A lot of slog. I've been working a long time, and it helps me to do this stuff better and quicker. Right. So baby first location reference, baby set location, mother location. No, that's fine. Okay, this is one, Interplanetary Senate. Basically, we're saying that on Earth, second planet location, that's wrong. So that should now be capital city, city location. Perfect. And then same one here. Capital city, city location. Next one here. Yeah, so this is for every planet now. We want this to be, this is going to be just the one of them. So okay, so this one here, that is correct. It's basically adding each city. So this, is that a reference? Yes. Okay, so that should still work. Body, capital city. So don't be discouraged though, name not taken. It is a long slog to get good at coding, but it starts, you just keep on doing it, keep on practicing, keep on coding. Don't give up, and one day you'll be good at it. Okay. To be honest, the more time you spend doing it, the less you realise that you know. It's probably the same as a lot of things. Okay, so now all the operations are correct. They're pushing into the city location. This one is generating the universities of a particular place, so that needs to go into the city location as well. And again, city location for the businesses. This one again will be the city location. And then we've got the organised crime in the cities, which goes into the city location. Cool. And then what's next? Right, generate organisations for, yeah, this is correct. Yes, every ground location, that's all the cities. Right, generate initial humans for. Yeah, so this is the number of cities in the place, so that's fine. Human set location, body plant location, this is wrong. Right, so based on whichever city we're in. Okay, so we want to, instead of generating 100 for each city, we want to actually go through each of the cities and generate 100 for those people. So I'm going to need another generator. I'll show you why in a minute. I'm going to need to pass. What am I going to need to pass? The name generator. What else? The body. The count. Okay. And then I'm just going to need to do body, planet location, each entity, and that's actually very similar to this. City human generator, generator, yeah. So now I need a struct city human generator, and I need the name generator, oops. So when I built this engine, what did you do? Is what Nanotaken is asking. What libraries were used? I used SDL as my main porting layer. I used OpenGL for all the graphics, and that worked actually really well. I used Chipmunk for physics, although there isn't much physics in the game, but that's what I'm using. I built my own particle renderer, which works quite well. What else did I use? I used lib, quite a lot of lib stuff, so libfreetype for some of the text in game. I used librocket for the GUI. That's pretty much it. There's a few other libraries in there like zlib and curl and things like that for URL access, but nothing else that's kind of note. Right, so this is actually going to be called a name generator. Okay, and then I need int count. I also need celestial body. Okay, just got body. And we'll change that too. Right, so now this stuff all needs to come out. Ooh, I'm calling store as well. Yeah. So I'm going to need the history itself. So was I able to put these together? Yeah. It is kind of layered. What you do is you basically kind of just combine them together. That's the game, really. It's all about the combining of the libraries. Address is pointed to. Whoops, what happened there? Yeah, pretty much. Right. So that I don't need. That I need. And this is going to be in void generate entity. And then this needs to be city equals city entity. So what languages are you learning? Nanotaken. Hopefully I'll be able to help you a little bit. Okay. Entity, yes, that's correct. So now the location is the only thing that needs to change. Yeah, thanks. I hope it does too. City location. Right, that means that a player is now born inside a city. Hopefully, if that all works and ties together correctly, let's just make sure. There's bound to be some sort of error. This is now history store. This is name generator. C++ and Java. Wow. Okay. So Java's got libgdx. Is that right? Which is what Minecraft used originally. I think that that's really cool. There's definitely enough games libraries out there in Java to make that work. Obviously, Minecraft has shown the way on that. This game I started in 2011, so kind of when Minecraft was really taking off. And I picked C++ because I really understood it. I worked as a AAA games developer for about 5 years, back in the early 2000s. So kind of know how C++ works and was comfortable with it. If I was doing this again, I'd probably do the whole thing in JavaScript, to be honest. The other interesting one out there is I would try and learn a really functional programming language, something like Haskell. You won't necessarily write games in it, but you'll find that it changes and influences your programming style. And I'd really recommend that everybody does that these days, to be honest. Objective-C isn't that bad, to be honest. I don't write very much Objective-C. I tend to either use Ruby Motion. Ruby is one of my favourite languages, and I tend to also use C mostly, and then wrap it with Objective-C. I don't know the APIs that well. Right, so now it's all failing. Probably because it can't find the people. So first thing that fails is that we don't have 2 humans. So there must be something wrong with my history factory. So we generate the initial humans and we can't find them. Just slightly odd. Why is it not generating 2? Okay, let's just double check what I've changed. Right, I had the capital city stuff, so I should probably just poke that in. What about that? Oh, yeah. So what I've done is I've forgotten to actually generate lots of these. All I've done is generate 1. So I should not using count. In I equals 0, I is less than count. Studying game design, really noticing how they're full of poop. Yeah, a lot of games are really rubbish. They're very formulaic, and I'm trying to build something slightly different. Hopefully it'll work. Do I need the body? I'm not sure I do, because I'm in the city, which is nice. So that means I really only need to do pair.second, which is quite nice. It's much neater. Let's see if that all compiles. Yes, it does. Right, so now I'm generating a bunch of the right number. Don't worry about asking questions, by the way. I'm very happy to answer questions. It's nice to have some company. Okay, so we've got a bunch of failures. This is because we are now generating the right number of people, but the relationship dependent family for is incorrect. Why is that? 0, 0, 0, 0. Maybe it's because they're dead. They're not dead, but they might be dead. Ooh, they're possibly dead. Yes. Okay, so this isn't going to work. One thing I would encourage you to do, name not taken, is to learn something like Unity, especially if you feel like your code isn't any good, because that will really help you to understand how games are put together, especially modern kind of arcade, 3D arcade games. That will give you a lot of insight. Okay, the reason that this is not working is because I'm setting the location of this thing, these humans, in, where are we? History CPP. Here, city human generator here. It's in a location to the city location, but unfortunately that'll be blank in a spec because this test history, which is here, isn't generating any locations for those cities. So I need a city in a location, city location. And here I need to say city location, London, address of London. And then basically I need to say London city location, city location. Yeah, both building it in two different engines, that's definitely interesting. Unreal and then Unity, that will work well. If you can get your head around both of them, then you've done well. But you don't have to do programming in order to really get into games design. There's a bunch of ways in, and most people seem to either go the tester route into the AAA industry, or they go indie. But it's quite hard to go indie if you don't code or do artwork. I think it's harder to be an indie designer without any people around. Right, why is this not working? Are those the only two failures? No, a bunch of other failures. Oh, saves load game. I'm expecting to fail. Okay, test failures. Right, check test human stage. Right. Oh, that could be because exactly the same thing is the problem. Basically, if there's no inner location to London, then when it adds it to London, it'll add it as a null location. If there's a null location, then it'll assume the character is dead. Which is why all of the tests are failing, because it's assuming that the characters are all dead, which is not quite right. Pop that in there, to history. Yeah, it is an uphill battle, but well done for continuing to do it. Getting into games is hard. Writing games is hard. It's not the easiest path. But to be honest, I just love doing it. I love doing it, so I'm not going to stop. 3 years in, still loving it. I started my career in AAA games about 15 years ago, in AAA games. And then I left the industry for about 10 years and built a career as a web developer. And I've just recently come back into it. Because I love it, basically. Okay, how are we doing now? 8 tests, right. Saves the humans. Again, this will probably be something similar. Test save history, test save game. Generate organizations for test save game. Same problem. Load static data from test data. You see, that is correct. That should have generated all of the things correctly. I think I'm just going to run that through the debugger to see where exactly it's failing. Right, so it's failing when it's trying to get the city location, trying to generate the government, because there's no capital city. Yeah, it's the setup that's the problem. Test save history. So with the random spawn generation, would you have to put something that maybe passes your location to this picks one at random to spawn out? There is no random spawn generation actually. What's happening is that all of the different characters in the world are created within a city, including yourself. You are part of the history generation. So the history generation will actually pause at the point at which you are born, depending on your age that you've set in the game, and then you will be able to kind of step through the history, including yourself as part of that history. And then once you've got to the end of it, then you will be where you got to, depending on which job you took or which career you chose. You might be at Earth, you might be miles away. It depends on how it works. So it will really depend on where you start, quite literally. Okay, so saves the humans. This isn't working because do we have any cities? Perhaps not. Depends on the test data. We should have. There's a city. You crazy? Maybe not. I don't know. I think it'll be kind of fun. And see if it works. But thank you. Appreciate that. Right, so it could be if you don't, if there's okay, if there's no city, then this won't work. This will no longer work if there's no city on a particular organisation. Right, so we're going to need a city on at least one city in every place. That is absolutely fine. I'm happy with that. It's true in the main game anyway. It's just not at the moment true in the test data. So now the moon has one city, Apollonia. When I do the Kickstarter, I'm actually planning to name cities in the game after people who give me money. So you have an option to do that when the Kickstarter comes out. Right, load error. Could not find location. Clear. Fatal couldn't find location. That's because we're not checking city locations yet. Yeah, so when we look for cities that are saved, city location. We need to just, okay, I'm going to have to do the same thing. This is going to take a little while to sort out. Okay, so in the load and save, what's going on is that we save a reference to where we are. So the location entity ID, we've never saved the city location before, so we're going to need to do that because we've never been able to be in a city before, and now you can. So I don't think we have got cities. Oh no, let's just separate it. Right, so this is load entities, ship size. No, it's not like a ship because a ship is dynamic. It's like a body. So it's more like this because each city has a static ID. So we're going to need this to be city. Find city. Bodies each. We're going to need to do a boost for each. Celestial body. Find for each. And then we're basically going to have to go through all of the bodies. Per second will be the celestial body. Not doing very well. And then each of the bodies will have a city in it. Do we save the city somewhere? Maybe I could save the city as well. Do I plan on releasing this on PC? Very much so. All of the details that you might ever want are at this web address. That should tell you everything that you need. So yeah, look there for all the info. Okay, so how am I going to get this? Okay, I don't care about speed, so I'm just going to go through basically go through all of this stuff. Because it doesn't matter how fast it is, because it only has one load, and it will be fast enough. So it's not like it's within a frame. So therefore, in theory, I should just be able to just zip through all of these cities, but I need to do in each entity. Or I can just loop through the placements. Each entity. Body, planet location, count, CP location layer ground, I++, oops. And then if so I'm noticing how you split the screen and looking through more code, what's happening during that. I'm just trying to figure out how on earth this works. Are you asking how I'm splitting the screen, or are you asking how my workflow is working? Do you see what I mean? Just yeah, clarify, and then I'll be able to help. Right, so this is now a city. This is an entity. So city equals. So this is Vim, this editor. So the way I am doing that is just by pressing :VS, and that just vertically splits the editor window, and then I'm able to switch between them, which allows me to just work on one, look at one piece of code and work on another piece. So yeah, with Vim you can split it horizontally, you can split it vertically, you can split it horizontally again, you can do all sorts of different things. It's quite useful. I tend to just keep it like this. When I'm not live streaming, I tend to work on a much bigger screen, so it helps. Right, okay, so city, I think this has got a hash somewhere, let's have a look. City hash, no, it has a key. Key is what I mean. If location entity ID equals city key, return city. Perfect. I think, yeah, this is very handy. I couldn't code without it. Is that going to work? No, not quite. Cannot initialize value. I'm silent. That's odd. Bodies. Oh, it depends on bodies actually. It's probably not what I'm expecting it to be. What is that? Oh, maps long to unsigned. That's not what I'm expecting. Damn. Damn. Oh, I need to do state system bodies. So look through the actual bodies I've got rather than just my lookup table that I'm keeping in here. Oh, the other thing I need to do is find body, pop this here. That's funny. You are welcome to bug me. I don't mind being bugged. Okay. Yeah, no problem at all. Thanks for stopping by. See you later. Okay, what's wrong with that? Ain't nothing wrong with that. No, tell me. Fine. Doesn't understand what a city is, which is fine. Yeah, me too. Okay, right, so now I've got a few errors here. Installation. Right, that's not what I'm expecting. So, solar system, it's a body map. Yep, that worked. Great. Okay, so once this is done, I should be able to actually load characters that are in a city. the problem is that with the load and save code, it wouldn't allow us to set load and save organizations with a particular city, whereas now it does. Well, hopefully we'll find out. I need more coffee in a minute. I can see Chris Payne is watching. Based on what you're saying on Twitter. Hi, Chris. Right. Okay, so, right. Still can't find the right location. That's probably because the location entity ID that's being set in Game Saver isn't taking into account the city. Okay, so if entity containing is location containing entity, so it's possible it is possible. I'm going to retweet that tweet. God, distracting me. I don't mind really. Right. Okay, it should set. Okay. Oh. Ah. It's the ID. Oh no, that's not going to work. Not going to work because it's the old entity ID, not the new one that we need. Because what I was doing is checking it against the city key, but that's not the same thing, which we know about in the loader, because the loader has a set for bodies which maps the old pointer to the new key, and that's exactly what I need to do. Sitters. So what I need to do here, I need to find out where this is used. And do exactly the same thing that this is doing. That's it, and here. Right, load body refs. Do all of this too. This is not nice at all. So this is saving it into entities. This is hard. Yeah, I'm going to have to do this. Yeah, I'm going to have to do this too. Right, so what I'm going to have to do is sort of a whole set of references for these things. Those TRFs. So basically what I'm doing here is I'm just figuring out there's this location reference stuff too, how to get the serialization working. Okay, that you can deal with. Okay, it's the this is very painful. Human solar system, that's where it comes from. So basically we need to also save city, okay, which means that celestial body. Okay, so in the game loader, let's just finish what I was doing. Body refs, we had find city, which I need to update. Body refs, city refs, I've done that. Find body, basically find city is going to work just the same way. Just cities find. So screw all of that, that was wrong. City, and this is going to be cities find, city, state systems. Why do I have to look it up there? I need to look it up in entities. Do you use entities? No. Oh, actually. Oh, yeah, we use it. We use it there. I'm not going to change that now. Just too much. Where is it? There it is. Okay. Find cities, state system, city result second. Okay, and the reason that doesn't like it is because in solar system we don't have a city map, but we're going to need one. The reason I don't like this is it doesn't really scale. I was hoping to have one simple system for all of these things, but I haven't got that at the moment, which is a shame. So the other place that we actually create these things is here. So how do we do it here? Location, most target store, yeah, and then we do it there. In just the same way, I'm going to need to do it, just going to map that here. I am going to keep it the same, so that if I need to there we go. That's key. Where are the errors? No errors? Fine. Okay, so now what I've done is I've set up a whole chain of references in my save and load game to be able to refer to cities as well as just to city, yeah. As well as just to celestial bodies. No, not that one. Celestial body proto UID key market, right. Okay, so in the same way I need to do one of these for city.proto, and this is going to be city, and it's just going to have those two things in it, and I don't need that. And then in the solar system, CSS proto, that one, I'm going to have a city there. Okay. Right, let's see what's happening. Oops. I've already retweeted that. Oops, I've now unretweeted it. Okay, so once the compiling is finished, hopefully that means that we can now save and load cities. Okay, what have we done here? Load city refs. That is a city loaded. That's correct. Yeah, just the wrong way around. Okay, let's just build that in the other window. Actually, no. Let's build that in this window. Just have a look at what I've done. So we've got a capital city, yep, that's fine. Yeah, add that. Load the refs. Create the structure for it. Now we're saving these things to a city. Yeah, that's all fine. We're creating humans and storing them in cities, not in locations. This is all of the proto stuff for this. Yeah, not interested in that. That's just proto stuff. Yeah, that's the capital city. Change. I think that's okay. Assuming that it actually works. Let's see. So once we've done this, humans should be are actually born in cities rather than on planets, which would be kind of weird because they'd be born somewhere in the atmosphere, which is kind of how it works, and that's not exactly what we want at all. Cool, so hopefully, once this is finished compiling, I should be able to demonstrate all of that. That would be the idea. So once the history works, I should be in good shape for doing some of the other stuff that I want to do. Because ultimately, if they're in a city, what does that mean to be in a city? Basically, let's go back to my diagram that I had before. At the moment, I'm just setting them up so they're in this. Which is fine for the history generation, because you don't really care roughly, you don't really care which part of the city they're in. So when the game starts, do I need to move them to a different scene? Okay, I need to move them to a different location. Probably. That's easy enough to do when I... Oh, God, same error. That's easy enough to do when I instantiate them, I think. Just go through my emails quickly. Thanks to Pluxy Not Taken for the follows. If you want to follow me on Twitch, that'd be awesome. Right, so couldn't find location, same problem. We tried to find the city. That's probably because I'm not saving it. So game saver. You see, I am saving it. But I'm not saving the references to the bodies. So these are saving the references. Don't need to save anything else because they're mostly static. Save cities. It should be a city. It should be a city map. That's all fine, don't care about that. Save city, add city, city map, cities. That should do it then. I just need to, at the same point at which I'm saving the celestial bodies, which is here, I just need to save the cities. Easy. Did that work? Did, but there's some errors. And function city is not available. System cities. It's const, which means that in the solar system, I need a const version. Fine. Oh, sorted that problem out. Good. But what about... Oh, they're not even members. Okay, fine. So, if you're enjoying this stream, please do follow me on Twitch. It's definitely the best way of getting hold of me and finding out when I do my latest live streams. I should be streaming a reasonable amount this week and over the holiday period. I'm hoping to kind of do quite a bit of work on the game. I'd love to get this stuff sorted so that you can kind of move around the city. So that players actually land on cities as opposed to landing anywhere else. That also means I'm going to need to figure out, there's a few things I need to do here. I better start writing a list. Let's just put up the Sole Trader issues. Trello. Put that over here while the game is loading. There it is. Right, so a lot of this is out of date because I'm not being that good at keeping it up to date. Right. Okay, so the thing I'm doing right now is ground improvements. Let's just start making a list here. This, by the way, is a public Trello. You're welcome to go in and vote for things and add comments on particular cards if you're interested. I think anyone can comment. Actually, I think that's how I've set it up. So yeah, welcome to do that. Right, checklist. What am I doing? I am history generation for particular cities. Target cities, not planets. That's the first thing. Second thing is that can actually be quite hard, that one. Fortunately, that could be quite difficult. Because I don't have any UI for allowing a player to hail a particular planet for starting the transition. I'm going to have to figure out how to do that. There's no way of hailing anyone at the moment, or choosing a planet to land on. That's completely not there. So I need to think about that quite carefully. Okay, and then we've got, once that's done, generation. Starting game, move all. So only some of the generated characters actually get an AI attached to them. So that's quite an important change. I'm going to add ship ownership as well. That's something I need to do. Otherwise, they won't be able to find the ships again. What's next? That's probably it. That's probably all I need right now. Okay, we've got a crash. Okay. Right, sorry, just figuring out something. Okay, we've got crashes now. Okay, just these three are failing. Ship reactor fuel tank component test. What's wrong with this? Ship factory. These failing. It's odd. That makes no sense. It makes no sense. Still failing. Why is it failing? Why are those three failing? I think it's a bad build, probably. So unfortunately, it's often the way. Right. OSA 14 at the end of ship factory. And why? This is usually just a destruction order bug. Solar system is being destructed. So we have a solar system here, which means that it's just trying to destruct that solar system. And it is failing to destruct it. Probably something to do with the changes that I put in here. So what have I changed? I've cleared the city map. That's it. It's the only change. That's just nothing. But nothing's been put in it. Right, all I've got is a new city map. That's really straightforward. Test. Just going to rebuild that. I'm not sure that's a valid thing. I think that's bogus. I think that's wrong. Yeah, there we go. Bad build. Yay, so we have a game. Woohoo! So that means that when I generate a new history, let's see what happens. Is this going to crash? Oh, it seems alright. Seems to be doing its thing. Right, home Cape Town. Awesome. Now that home probably should say, step forward. Where am I? Fantastico. Okay, now there's a couple of things here that will have changed. One thing, I'm going to check that in because that is awesome. There's a lot of changed stuff there. Let's just check it through again. So this is make history use cities, not planets. I've looked through these before, so I'm not too worried that I'm happy with that. That's all fine. That's just generated code. So is that. So when we get to the test, that's more interesting. That's fine. Okay. Yes, I'll divide all these city locations to certain places. That's fine. Right, that's really cool. Really, really cool. Right. Okay, so the problem that I have now is that if you're going to meet someone, if you're going to meet a friend in the history, it looks in the location that you're in. Now that is only going to be that city, which is probably okay. Maybe we should just go with that. The other thing I wanted to change was in the GUI, which would be the gen controller location, family first, location name, for other details, family home, family first, location name. There's a case to make to have a location. What's the name? Static map loader. Name of the location is city name. There's a case of just going through the containing entities and just showing the fully qualified name, which is kind of what I want. Do I put that on entity or do I put that on location? Probably on the entity. What I mean by this, I probably should test an entity spec, is here's a good example. I kind of just want to say let's copy it. Not really worried about removing accesses at this point. This isn't going to be an insanely difficult thing to build. So let's figure this out. So there's a test. It's a reasonable test. What I need is I need just a string strip. and then I want to return that at the end. I want to return the str, and then I want to go through the root. Probably the easiest thing to do is to actually do this. Fully qualified location name str. Cstra. That's a neater. Doing it uses less memory. That's wrong anyway. Reference out. There we go. Now, I don't need that because I can just poke it on. I could probably just wrap it, it's probably easier. SS if location containing entity, return. Otherwise, SS plus equals if no location string name, and then just return, well, that's if location containing entity isn't there, then we just if there's no containing entity, Basically what I'm trying to do, isn't very clear probably because I'm not really talking about it properly, is to figure out how to do some sort of fully qualified name. So it's probably a bit of a distraction, to be honest, but I think it's worth doing. What I'm trying to do is figure out how best to present this, because at the moment it just says location Cape Town. So I want it to say Cape Town plus the name of any containing entity. So the first thing I need to do is add my name. That's fine. Now, if there's a location containing entity, then I want to add that as well. That's perfect. See if that works. Oh, this will take forever to build, by the way. Quick look at that code. Oh, that looks right. Let's see if that works. Okay. Let's just have a look at the history while that's building. So if we generate a bunch of people, slightly quicker to run now. Let's see what it's like at 50. It's because people aren't meeting as much as they used to. So my home is Tokyo, that should say Tokyo Earth pretty soon. If I choose this family, let's see, let's just view the history quickly. So there's a whole bunch of people here. Do you need Coates Sullivan? What's happened to these people? Why has that only got their name? Oh, it's because they don't have a name yet. Roger is born. Lewis Footit moved to Cape Town. Was born, moved to Valhalla. Charles was born to Nathan Rutter. Okay, let's have a look at Nathan. Okay, so he's 34 years old. He was born. His home is Valhalla. He went to Callisto. Clearly something else happened. Yeah, Callisto. Nathan was born is not clear enough. It probably should say where they were born. It's easy enough to do. History. No, this is historical event. Was born. Interesting. At the moment, the historical event information is not storing the location. It stores the operation, but not the location. Interesting. Roles has only a human only has roles. Ah, no, so I'd have to store a location. That's annoying. In the event 2, which I don't want to do, unless historical event already has location in it. Probably not is the answer. Oh no, both does have a location. Look at that. So that means description 4. In should be roles subject contain location no, it's where the birth happened, it's not where they are now. That's quite important. Location containing entity need to remove the precompiled header, which means a full rebuild, which is going to be very slow. Let's just build it parallelized and kill the machine for a minute. Location containing entity. Let's see. Fully qualified location name string. Okay, that's building fast, well, fast-ish. It's kind of constrained by the connection and the streaming. Need a fast computer. Okay, so these are all the things I need to remember when I'm doing these ground improvements. Hook up organizations to organization operations to a particular city. To their cities. And then if we make we hook in the operations so that there is always a shipyard or a port. That would be good. Okay. there's quite a lot to do there. That's the main next one. How's that build going? So once I've done this fully qualified city location name, that would be really cool. Then I can hook up organization, operations as entities to those cities, which basically means I already have bars and things. That's already all in the history. I'll show you that. If I go, for example, create your history, 20, doesn't matter. So it'll be pretty slow just because of the build. Right, and then I view history. Then if you look at organizations, you can see that in Cape Town we have the Interplanetary Senate of the Old Federation, which is basically all of the different, the Planetary Council of Cape Town. We've got the Callisto Outpost, Valhalla. Valhalla is the name of a city on Callisto. Then we've got Outpost of the Federation Starfleet, Vicon, that's the Venus Outpost. Azimuth, which is on Mars. There's a whole bunch of them. Probably Prometheus, which is Io. So all I need to do, this is all government stuff. Let's find something more interesting. The pi bar. Ooh, fail. Well, the point is, that's probably just because the game's just. Oh, why did that crash? Boom. Do we have a crash somewhere? Okay, let's just cancel that for a minute. Oh, here we go. Where did that crash? Knowledge ask. In the AI? There's no AI programming. When was this? Alright, this is this one. Forget that. Yeah, I don't know why that crashed. Anyway, how's the build going? It's going. So, basically, we've got the Pi bar and Jimmy's bar and all those kind of places which already exist inside the cities as operations, and all we need to do is turn those into entities, lightweight entities. And then once those are entities, then they just attach themselves to the locations, which means that the location within the city, which means that it's very straightforward at that point to just allow players to see them. It'll be a little bit, I'm not implementing like a 2D arcade city view or anything like that. That's just too much work at this stage in the game's development. But it'll be awesome, but I'm not going to do that now. If I get a massive Kickstarter stretch goal, then I'll do it. But at the moment, I'm not going to do that. So what I'm planning on doing, instead of doing that, is to just kind of show an interesting GUI for that, which should be fine. Okay. That build must also be almost be done. Yeah, it is. Okay, so let's see if the test passed first. Doesn't look like the test did pass. Expected foo Earth, but was ABC123 Earth. That's probably correct, actually. That was the entity spec. The location, the space location, it's called foo, but we don't care about that. Yeah, I think that's actually correct. So that's where you are, isn't it? So let's just run that. Well, look at those load figures, 25, poor computer. It's only a little laptop. I should have got the faster one, but hey, they're expensive. Cool, I think that worked. Brilliant. So, the question is why? Let's just run that for a minute. View history. Let's have a look. Organisations. Frank's bar. Did that crash? Yes, it did. Where's the crash? Okay, here we go. Show operation crashed in description. Historical event description. Interesting. Bizarre. Does that have something to do with this? No, because it would have been in the birth. Is that gone? No. Well, hey there, Embero. Nice to see you. Thanks for stopping by. Guessing you're calling from Australia or New Zealand? If you haven't told me where you found out about this, this would be really cool to know. I find it so helpful to know where people are calling in from and also where they came from. So if you came from Reddit or Twitter or somewhere like that, it would be really good to know where you came from. From Germany. Okay, fair enough. Right, it's still crashing. I need to debug that. I don't know why that's causing problems. Historical event description. Difficult to see where that's coming from. Let's see, description. Where is it coming from? What? Last historical event. There is no description. There. Template description 4. Oh, I don't know why that's not working. What's going on? Okay, fine. Oh, that's cool to know. Well, thanks for popping in. You're very welcome. What I'm trying to do at the moment, for those of you who have just joined recently, is I'm setting up the history setup so that it's targeting particular cities rather than anything else. So, put those back now. So, we'll just quickly show the history. The plan is to try and get a bit more detail into where the characters are on Earth. So Earth characters might be in a bar, or they might be on the spaceport, or they might be wandering around the city, and that they particularly start in. So at the moment they're just on Earth, whereas I want to add a bit more detail. I'm not going to show interiors, unfortunately, that's just too much work, but I am planning on actually showing a GUI that describes where characters are. So, for example, we've got these guys here. Home is Apollonia. That's still the wrong place. I was expecting it to be... Oh, I suppose it's probably when I choose a person. Home of Valhalla. Still wrong. Still not what I'm expecting. Valhalla Callisto. That's what I want. So, in the view history RML, let's just update those quickly. So I've got home. Where's that? People. human location. Human location home, human location name. No, I want human. I actually want containing entity. This is a bit crap. Fully qualified location name. It is a MacBook. You obviously have one yourself. Right. Location. C-string. There we go. And the other one, what's wrong with that? Oh yeah, it's just human location containing entity. And this one is image. Got the right one. Yep, cool. And then the other one was in the player generation controller. Where's that? We have a world gen controller. We have a view history controller. And we have the human GUI view, which is what I was just doing. That's probably done the right thing. Let's just make sure. Then I want to debug that weird organization view crash because I want to be able to see those. That's a regression. I don't know what's happened there.